Welcome to the Cotton Club Radio. I'm your host, Cotton Club. Today's conversation, family, is going to be a well-needed conversation. Today's conversation is going to be called Back to Africa and Treated as a Second-Class Citizen. You heard what I said. I said back to Africa and treated as a second-class citizen. Well, you know what, family? I want to talk about this because going back to Africa is nothing new. For as long as we've been in this country, for 250 years and more, there has always been a major plight by the government, by individuals, namely they'll send out individuals to try to, convince us to go back to Africa. Most of the time, these individuals are Pan-Africanists, but there always seems to be, family, this big deal about getting American freedmen Negroes back to Africa. They were doing it in the 17th and 18th century through multiple individuals, convincing a few of us, not a lot of us, just a few thousand of us, to go to Liberia, to go here, and to go there. Ultimately, to do what, family? To find out that we have no friends in Africa. People in Africa don't view us as African. They view us as foreigners. So it's very important for us to understand that as Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, we don't have a seat at the table of any African union, any African nation. We are there as guests and visitors. So why did I feel the need to make this conversation, family? Back to Africa and treated as second-class citizens. Family, I was watching a video all over social media, and y'all probably seen it too, of these Black American people. Not sure what they are. They're American, They could be American Negro. They can be, of immigrant background, but Americanized. But nonetheless, I saw this video, family, of what appeared to be American freedmen Negroes at some kind of conference in Africa. And they were talking about reparations from Africa. Interestingly, first time I ever heard this conversation, reparations from Africa, American freedmen Negroes. Very interesting. So, your boy Cotton Club, I had to put my ear to it. And it started to get disturbing real quick, family. It started to get real disturbing because this woman who appeared to be an American freedman Negro woman was talking to these Africans who were sitting at a panel. And she went in to disclaim why she felt Black Americans in Africa should get reparations. I said, okay, that sounds interesting. Let's talk about it. I want to hear about why Black Americans in Africa should be getting reparations. I'm with it. But family, what she said, it blew my mind. Do you know what she said? She said, for reparations, when she was talking to these African leaders, for reparations for the American Negro freedmen in Africa, she said, for reparations, all she wants is to be treated fair. Did you hear what I said, family? This woman who moved to Africa, went through all the life's changes, being of an American freedman, moving to Africa and having to adjust to that whole scam, because we know what it is. She said all she wanted for reparations from Africa is to be treated fairly. And I hate to break it to you, family, but we can't go to Africa because those are not our people. And how do we expect our enemies to treat us fairly? How do we expect the people who sold some of our ancestors to treat us fairly, family? I'm going to tell you something, family. There is no incentive for a FBA, a Black American in Africa right now, as I'm speaking to you, family, to be treated fairly. You are an object of financial exploitation. I want you to understand, FBA family, They don't view you as any sort of family. They view you as a meal ticket, a green card, a 90-day fiance, just somebody that they can take from, get some, extract some resources out of, and go about their business, family. These are not people who want to befriend you. These are not people who want to build with you. I think about those freedmen who got duped and coerced into going to Liberia. What they thought, what they were told. Why the hell would they go over there? They had to have been coerced. But what were they thinking, family? They were thinking that they were going to go to Liberia and do what? They were going to do what? Build? They tried it. They tried, family. Those American freedmen Negroes went to Liberia, family, with the urge to build. And they were met with resistance. They were met with opposition. Many of them were victims of tribal wars. There were no friends over there, family. There was no family over there. Their family was still here. They left their family here to go over there looking for family because somebody told them that they was from Africa, and they lied. And they went over there and wreaked some of the worst treatment we've ever had. See, people don't break down what actually happened in Liberia, family. Well, you talking to the right man, because I know what happened in Liberia, family. Because you'll speak to Liberians and they've all kind of like practiced this lie and myth that Black American Negro freedmen went over there with the urge to enslave Africans. Now, we know that's a goddamn lie. We know that's a lie. Our ancestors went over there with the urge to build a relationship. But they didn't know that they were going over there and building a relationship with the people who sold some of their peoples. They didn't know that they were building a relationship with their enemies. Family, how many of you know that you can't build a relationship with your enemies, family? Because that relationship is going to be one or a few things. Either it's going to be an exploitive relationship, or it's going to be a transactional relationship where they get all the goodies and you get nothing. In what world do we live in where we think that we can make our enemies our friends? I don't know, family. But those American Negro freedmen, when they went to Liberia, they thought that they could make their enemies their friends, and many of them started to go missing. There are theories as to why many of these individuals started going missing. Talks about cannibalism and all kinds of sadistic stuff going on over there. Why is there next to no population of Liberians, but a lot of those African Liberians are pretending to be Liberians, knowing that they don't even really exist? Before that colony could really lifted off the ground, many of those people were cannibalized. Can we talk about the truth, family? And why, going back to Africa, are our FBA Black American family going over there and being treated as second-class citizens, family? See, they don't understand one thing, family, because we're going to break it down. They don't understand the cultural and social divide between Black Americans and Africans. See, Pan-Africanists will tell you, oh, we good. We can go over there and we're going to get treated like family. But then you go over there and the first thing that they do is give your ass a black tax. Yeah, I said it. A black tax, because we get it here too. Let me tell y'all what the black tax is. That's when you go to buy goods from a foreigner and they just make up a price right on the spot. You know who the hell they are. You know who they are. Every time you go to the corner store and there's a damn foreigner there, the first thing they do is overcharging your ass. You ask for a juice. You know how much the juice is. They make up a price on the spot. $2.50. What? What are you talking about? I came here at the same time yesterday and this juice was $1. Now that you see me, it's $2.50, the black tax, where they just make up a tax every time they see a black person. All these foreigners do it, and they do it in Africa worse than anybody. Do you know, family, that you got Black Americans in Africa right now paying double, triple the price just to live on a piece of land that's owned by a tribe. And when that tribe gets another offer by somebody else that they want to live there, they just X and say, hey, you got to leave. What kind of relationship is that? Where you can't even be comfortable. You got to be treated like you sleeping on somebody's couch, and you done traveled millions of miles to come to this nation to help build it up. But every time you buy something, people are looking at you sideways. People are charging you triple and double. This is what we have to go through living in Africa, family, as second-class citizens. So when we ask ourselves, what kind of relationship is worth being exploited? What kind of relationship is worth being a transactional relationship? I'll tell you, family, no relationship. Why? What is the benefit? For them to just make up prices on you, give you a foreigner tax? The Pan-Africans said that these were our fellow family members. The Pan-Africans told us that when we go to Africa, they're going to treat you like family. The Pan-Africans told us, when you go to Africa, you can't tell the difference between a black American and an African. But why the hell can the African tell the difference between you and them? How do they know to charge your ass triple, since nobody can tell the difference? They know to overcharge your ass, don't they? So I wonder, family, I really, 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 really wonder, why are we going to Africa and accepting being second-class citizens, family? And the twisted, diabolical thing about it is, when you got a lot of these African tribal dudes who rent their land to you, and then when they decide to take it back, you got no legal protection. You can't do nothing. We've seen videos of these people just ransacking people's homes, taking all of their stuff, and our brothers and sisters, our freedmen, are out there with their hands like this, like, what do we do? What do we do? We can't beat them down. We can't call the cops. We can't take them to court. What do? We just go elsewhere. So the thing about it is, when you are left with no means of employing yourself, without the locals in Africa feeling like you're competing with them and taking their jobs, and all you're trying to do is build something for yourself, get a leg up, add to the country, make something of the country and yourself, and you got Africans looking at you as some foreigner that's expendable, a foreigner that they look at, that they view that money grows on trees. When will we get it, family? Our home has always been here. Our family has always been here. We have no family anywhere else. And I wish those brothers, those American Negro freedmen who went to Liberia, I wish they would have knew that. I wish they would have knew that they didn't have family in Africa. Those weren't their brothers. Those were opportunists. Their family was here the entire time. So what do we take from this, family? What do we take from that? Even though they'll say, that's a lie. We've seen the videos. We know what's going on. We know the truth. But every time we learn the truth about our relationship with Africa and with Africans, and how they want it to be transactional, and Pan-Africans want us to make it easy for them to lineage swap us, we have to understand, when we look at history, our family has always been together here in these United States. We've never went anywhere and been greeted with hospitableness and given a fair chance to build. Everywhere we've went, people have looked at us as a meal ticket or looked at us as an opportunity. So we have to learn, family, that if we can't build with each other, we can't build with nobody. And about this, the lady who was up there speaking with those African leaders, talking about reparations. Let's talk about that. To the Africans, reparations with the American Negro freedmen. What would that look like? Can we talk about that, family? Because I think it's necessary. I think it's a good conversation. But it ain't gonna be looking like we want to be treated fairly. No. Nah. And I don't and I don't really care the state of Africa right now. I really don't care. Because the first thing you talk about reparations from Africans for selling some of our ancestors, the first thing they say is, well, I mean, look at the state of Africa. How can we pay you reparations? Easily. You can come off some of that gold. How about that? I mean, you have no problem doing it for the YT. You're giving them millions of dollars worth of gold every damn year. Come off some of those diamonds. How about that? Some of that cobalt, some of that. There's all the stuff that you give YT, give us some of that. How about that? Because when we talk about reparations from Africa, I really don't want to hear about being treated fairly, because we already know what it is with them. These people are leeches. These people want to just extract as much as they can. And we understand that. So what's the solution, family? What's the solution? Because there's no home for us in Africa. Unfortunately, that's the reality that we have to accept. Is it a hard reality to accept? No. But when we analyze all of the lies that we've been sold, all of the romanticism that we've been given about Africa, we can say with all of our hearts and all of our minds that Africa needs to work on Africa. And Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, need to work on Black Americans. Because the stuff that we go through, they don't go through. And the stuff they go through, we don't need to go through. Our ancestors built the first world country. We don't have third world problems. And that's no disrespect. But when you put in work for 246 years of free labor, building one of the greatest countries, if not the greatest country in the world, then we are the benefactors of that by birthright. So whenever you get an African who's telling you that their ancestors built this country, you can tell him, well, where's the country you built? Because there's no country in Africa that's a first world country. And that's just keeping it funky. I ain't even, I don't want to beat nobody down. But the reality is what the reality is. Many of y'all love to talk about what you so proud of while your ass is here with me, sitting on my couch. It's weird. It makes no sense. I really don't get it. The proudness, I don't get it. Because that proudness would be very, very, very beneficial in your country. You can take that proudness to your country and start building it up. You understand? Instead of sitting your ass on my couch, talking about how comfy it is and how I should get a new couch, and you ain't even got a couch. It's weird. Some of these people just don't make no sense. And to my peoples out there, to the Negro freedmen in Africa right now, trying to build a way, trying to make a life for yourself, I want to speak to you for a second. Because it's not too late to bring your ass home. It's not too late, family. I know what the Pan-Africans sold you. I know what they told you. I know what you're experiencing ain't what they told you. It's not too late for you to come home. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather you come home to your first world nation where you got running water, toilets, piping, all of the modern technology that American freedmen Negroes built, made, and established. You got it right here. But you're over there with no toilets, running water, etc. No electricity in certain parts. all on a dream that somebody on somebody's corner in a dirty dashiki sold you and told you you need to come home. And you didn't realize that your ass was already home. It's not too late for you, family. We're still here. We're building. We're establishing our origins. We're representing and loving on ourselves. We're not burning bridges. We're building bridges from one coast to the next, from the east, west, north, and south. We got enough of us here to build anything that we want, despite what the Pan-African told you. The Pan-African told you that in order for you to build something, you needed to connect with Africa. In order for you to build something, you needed to connect with the Caribbean. He lied. He lied, family. No, you didn't. You never did, family. You didn't need none of them. You needed confidence. You needed to respect your ancestors so they can give you that extra energy that you need. You need to know your history so you can know your greatness. And so you can realize that your greatness was always right here and never went nowhere.
The king. Look. Let your angel sing. I ain't twisted, this ain't the Henny talking for me. This is literally Malcolm Little talking through me. I ain't possessed, this is just when spirit meets the flesh, and a revolutionary is born, nothing less. It's hard for me to cope with stress, especially when I see the world much different from the rest. I can't sleep, nightmares, waking up cold sweat, wondering if I ever made it, will they do me like the rest? It's for my black souls who really too upset to rest, so they wander through my dreams. Please tell me what this means.
Glove Radio.